Spidey.
No one's ever done that at the start of a YouTube
Spidey
video
Man.
before.
Yes. Now, guys, look, we are big fans of Marvel. Of course, Spider-Man is a DC character. We all know this.
Of course.
But there's
Dark
one...
Horse, actually.
Yes, of course. And there's this one thing that we always love to see, and that is a Spider-Man game. Well, Spider-Man 2 game came out on GameCube or whatever all those years ago. It was amazing. And now, of course...
GameCube?
We had it on GameCube.
Did we?
Yeah.
No, we had it on Xbox originally.
No, I'm pretty sure it was GameCube.
No, we had it on Xbox.
Everyone, it was GameCube. Don't listen to Ralph. Anyway...
Probably never came out on GameCube.
And it's so good to see it come back, of course. Now, we went hands-on today,
We did.
and we're about to tell you if it's good or bad.
Well, it's actually really good. Spidey from Insomniac Games. It's obviously been in development for a while now. It's been teased for a couple of years. We've been hanging out for a Spider-Man game. Finally got to play it. Hanging out.
Nice,
Yay.
man.
And I've got to say, I loved it. Like the thing about the trailer that we saw at the E3 showcase this year was that the game just looks really fun.
Yeah.
And the question was, well, how much of this is real in terms of the combat? Is any of this scripted or whatever? Can happily confirm that none of it is scripted. The way that combat works is that it's very. If you've played Arkham, if you played Batman the Arkham series, the Rocksteady Arkham games, it's very similar to that. There are enemies that are coming at you all the time. You're generally pounding one button most of the time. You're combining that with different dodge buttons, like when an attack is incoming, you dodge out of the way. And then, if you begin to combo things, eventually like the cutscene will take over. And then, you'll do some very jazzy sort of thing. So it is a mix of scripted and action, but it's not like a gameplay trailer scripted. It's scripted for you while you're doing it.
And it's the type of combat where if you jump on, you've never played it before, you can kind of button mash and you can get through it. But then it's one of those things where if you learn the combat system, as the game progresses, if you master that, you can get a lot of depth out of that. Totally. It looks like, at least.
So, for example, you'll be able to see throughout while you're fighting. It'll say L1, R1 on certain objects nearby, and it's like a barrel, for example. And if you, grab that, you'll be able to swing it around you and then smash it onto an enemy.
And it automatically picks what that person is. That's
and it'll actually, when you're doing that swing, it'll automatically target an enemy.
Yeah.
It won't target just like the spot next to him.
Yeah.
It'll go to him. So it's very much on rails. It really does guide you to make you feel like Spider-Man, But it does do that, and it feels great because it's just fun. It's just such a fun game to play,
Yeah. The thing is, right, everyone really cares about the swinging, all right?
And we're talking about web slinging.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know where I'm going with that, but really we're talking about...
keys in the bowl.
Yeah, keys in the bowl, baby. But we're really, so the Spider-Man swinging is the thing that people are going to be lining up for
sure.
9 times out of 10. I have mixed feelings about this. When I jumped on, I was surprised how easy it was.
It feels like, I remember some of the older Spider-Man games put a lot of depth into that web swinging, and you could fail, so to speak. Like, if you didn't time it correctly, you would absolutely lose your locomotion.
Yeah.
But similarly, if you were doing it perfectly, it felt fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because you were like, oh, I'm nailing this right now. Do you know what I mean? Off we go.
But there's still a sense of inertia to what you're doing.
Definitely.
And all that kind of stuff, and that's really important. But when I picked it up, there's only one button to really swing, and yes, there's a few other buttons that you can push yourself further and stuff.
Web zip and the like.
But I mean, I was really hoping for a left trigger for the left hand and the right trigger for the right hand, and then how they would combo in different situations to balance out, where you are, and
it feels very autopilot.
Yeah, it
you
does,
sort of hold down the R1 button, off it goes, and it's very hard to hit the ground.
Yeah.
It's like at any time you're going to swing successfully, and I'd really hope that if sometimes if I fucked up, I'd fail and I hit the ground.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't hurt it that much. It's just that's the depth I was looking for.
I don't think it actually hurts it. It just means that probably the satisfaction that you would get from swinging is slightly diminished. But one thing is for sure, when you are swinging through the city and you look around, it is gorgeous.
It's stunning. It's
such a beautiful game.
It's the same sort of range, because the Spider-Man games of old did a really good job in terms of draw distances.
Yeah.
You have those same draw distances, but now it's way more detailed.
Yeah.
And also beautiful weather effects and sunlight splashed over the city and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, especially because a lot of these buildings are glass. You can just see kind of the sun hitting it, and it's just so beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. And I don't know how big the actual city is because the demo only had a certain amount, but it feels like you can literally just have hours of just swinging and exploring, and I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of Easter eggs. And
I did get to fight one of the bosses. I fought Shocker. and he
Yes.
was robbing a bank, and I'm like, what's up? I'm going to take your money, and now I'm going to fight you. And it was a structured boss fight whereby, you know, like he was sort of emitting these shockwaves, and I had to dodge them, and he would actually like break rubble off the wall, and then I would like pick that up and smash him with it to make him vulnerable, and then I would beat him up.
too.
He was actually tricky.
Very,
I did
very
die
difficult.
twice when I was doing it while I was figuring out the mechanics.
I saw some guy doing it, and he was trying to keep his cool because people were waiting in line, and he was getting so angry.
Really?
He died a second time. He just went.
No way.
Walked away, like he
Rage
just fucking
quit.
couldn't do it anymore.
Nice.
It's good though. It's good to see. I like when demos show you how hard a game is going to be, or
Yeah,
maybe,
true.
or maybe this is the middle and it gets harder. Of course.
Sometimes they soften up demos at E3 as well to
Yeah.
make journalists feel good at video games,
Yeah.
even though they all suck.
Yeah, of
so
course.
that's why they do it. But anyway, look, the boss fight was fun. There's catchy, you know, like dialogue from Spidey being like, "Hey, I got jokes. You want some jokes? I'm gonna give you some jokes."
What
and
did you
some
think
web."
of Spidey's actual personality?
I mean,
I
it
felt
was-
it was a little bit. It was very juvenile, you know, in
But
some
that's
of the
him.
stuff.
He's a kid.
No, I know, but it's just different to Homecoming's humor. I felt like. Didn't you feel that?
I didn't think it was as funny as Homecoming.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
It wasn't as funny.
It didn't land as much with me to be
but
honest.
it was still fine for a Spider-Man game.
Sure,
I
sure.
enjoyed it. I think the voice acting is solid. I know that there's a big cast of villains that you're going up against, which is going to
Yeah,
be interesting.
yeah.
But I just enjoy swinging through the
I-
city.
I-
I just
yeah.
enjoy the open world elements. By the way, you can kind of like press R3 to ping the map, and you can actually see if there are events nearby that you can, you know, do to unlock things or whatever
Sure.
else. So it's a mix of the open world. You choose where you want to go with a structured story full of like, you know, the villains, and it feels great and it looks great and it's just fun. Like I said, that's it. Like, I don't know. I just feel like with a game like Spider-Man, it's not the kind of game that warrants a lot of analysis, like Detroit or something.
Yeah,
it's
no,
just a fun fucking game.
Definitely,
you know what
definitely.
I mean?
I agree with that. Like, I think it's a light
Yeah.
game that you can just enjoy. You can swing around town. You can do missions if you want. Like,
Yeah.
it's something that it's very much like I just want to chill out and play some Spider-Man. Like,
Totally.
it's totally like that. But the bottom line is, it matters how fun that game is
Yeah.
if you're going to purchase it. And in my opinion, it is very, very fun, and the combat system's great. The swinging is still satisfying. It still feels fantastic. It looks amazing, but you know, it's not as fulfilling as I would have liked in terms of the swinging. But all in
You
all,
always have to look at the negatives, don't you?
all
Sam?
in all, I'm
Clickbait
actually.
YouTubers always just mining negativity
Everyone knows
for
how
clicks.
negative this dude is on certain
Right.
games.
It's
But look,
CD Projekt Red.
yeah, plus we hate those guys.
That's right.
But really, guys, I think it's definitely a game to tune in for.
Definitely. Check it
Yeah.
out, guys. We'll see you guys very soon.
Latest.